Hey everybody, this is Mickey G. And just like the title says, they didn't make them like that back in our day. Listen to what we're talking about in this edition of Old Fools Talking Old School.
But
So,
man, they come up with some stuff, man.
yeah, I know. I know there's always going to be the conspiracy theorists out there and thing. I guess my biggest thing with that is, like I said, don't be a conspiracy theorist. Show me. I'm not from Missouri, but show me. And then if you show me, and I'm able to, sort of believe and verify that it's true, that's a whole nother thing. But don't keep coming up with stuff of, well, if this happened and that happened and this happened, so that means that was the reason. No, you got to show me more than that. You just can't come up with that and not be able to show me in facts that indeed did occur because of a result of whatever was done. So I don't bother. I keep getting them. Flu shots and all those kind of things. And I've felt that it's been a help to me. I think, like you, I'm probably more knowledgeable of what's going on with my body and me than I was probably when I was younger. 'Cause, back when you was young, you felt invincible. You didn't care about this or that. I know I was thinking to myself just the other day. I said, man, when I was young, I like I was coming down with a cold or something. Shoot, I'd go out there and get me some Jack Daniels and some and mix me up a little toddy. I said, I can remember telling myself, just get you a couple shots and go on to the club kind of thing. You'll be all right. I'm just thinking, it was that simple. It wasn't, no, I'm gonna go in and get seen. No, I'll take care of this. So
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Hey man, that's that invincibility, boy, back in the day. Man, now, boy, brother trying to be watch out for everything.
Every little thing. Every little thing. What is this doing? I'm in there the other week trying to count calories. Okay, now what has less calorie, milk or coffee? And I'm doing my research because I like to drink milk and I know it's got vitamin D and stuff. I like my coffee too. And I said, okay, which is the best caloric thing to have? And of course, coffee depends if you put cream and stuff in it. But coffee by a long shot is the most nutritiously less, calories than milk by a long shot. And I'm like, did I ever even look at the calories on a food thing when I was 20 years old?
No, man.
I said, back in the day when we would get up and, eat breakfast, eat lunch, eat dinner, and then go to midnight chow, we were eating 4 meals a day.
Exactly. It's like this one thing I saw said, back in the beginning of the time, he said, we didn't have enough food to eat 3 times a day. So who made it a law that you eat 3 times a day? You eat when you're hungry, And I'm like, well, that kind of makes sense too, It's almost like a ritual. Oh, well, it's lunchtime. Well, it is a ritual because when you say it, you ain't got to say nothing about some food. You say, oh, it's 12 o'clock. Oh, I got to give me something to eat.
Well, that's like I told my doctor about my diabetes, and he said, we're going to put you on, Ozempic or the higher doses, things of that nature. It's supposed to curb your appetite and all, and that'll help you with your diabetes. And if you need to lose some weight, it'll help with losing weight too. I said, Doc, I've been through this before. I said, my problem is when it gets to around 11, 12 o'clock, my mind says, I don't care what your stomach's saying. You need to eat.
Yeah.
So I go get something to eat. I may be feeling sort of full because of the sensation from, these medications thing. I said, but that's my biggest problem. My mind is overruling my stomach because I'm like, it's noon. It's time for lunch.
Yeah. That's right. Hey, just like they got them cattle on the clock down there. As soon as they see that truck, oh, it's time to eat. I watched a little documentary the other day on said I wasn't gonna forget it, and I forgot all of it. It was on the Discovery Channel, but it showed the effects of how the Gulf Stream and it's showing how that we're not a global thing because everything touches everybody. And they were showing how the Gulf Stream carries whatever is over here all the way over there. and then it was showing how uh, the rain brings the rich mineral sand from Africa all the way to Central and South America in raindrops and enriches the soil. And it was just interesting. I was just sitting there watching. It was showing how uh, uh, hippopotamus over in Africa, they have all those droughts all the time. They said, but when they have plenty of rain and water, hippopotamus acts as bulldozers because they're traveling to the water. There, why they're however many tons they are. They're creating lanes for the water to be like a little tributary going to other places. I was like,
Mm,
damn. It was because I wasn't planning to watch it, but I started. I was
right.
like, man, I ended up watching the whole show, man. it was showing, it was showing how the hurricanes rise up off the coast of Africa and come all the way across over here and goes, and it's bringing all kinds of minerals and everything else in the air at the same time, wiping out. But it showed how stuff travels, man. I was like, man, they had the desert over there where, like I said, they showed the elephant. The herd was about to die because it was such a drought. They were trying to go places to find grass to eat because there was none, and all that. And then when the rains came, it showed how they ended up going back down into their little sanctuary area where it was safer because now there was water and now there's vegetation. Those
Mhm.
animals are smart too, man.
They are. They
They
are.
they
They've
they they
they've
got it.
survived for a long time.
Yes, indeed. And they were showing how the elephants were hovering over their babies because the further they went outside of their habitat, they were getting close to roads and all that kind of stuff, which was dangerous. And they kept a close eye on those kids. And then that rain came, and it's like God knows what they need, man. It was like a drought. They were on the move, then all of a sudden, rain like hell. And those elephants turned their herd around and went back home. I was like, oh man. And they talk about man being the most intelligent
Yeah.
being
And you
on the
think
earth.
about it, for the size of the brains of a lot of animals,
Mm-hmm.
it's amazing what they can do compared to, the size of a human's brain, as you say, that we always consider to be the most intelligent uh, existence on life. But yeah, it can do that. My only thing is I like those kind of shows, but I gotta be a little careful because I don't like watching the Predator shows. I guess I just
Oh
got
no.
a soft part in my heart, but
Yeah.
I when I watch the shows about the lions and the cheetahs and tigers,
Oh
I can't
man.
watch it. I see I see where it's going. I'm like, nah, I can't. I can't
Yeah.
watch that. I just don't like watching those kind of shows. I just feel so sorry for those animals and how they but I know that's life, and I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
saying there's nothing wrong. I mean, God made it that way, and it's survival of the fittest. They gotta live too, and
Yeah.
I even saw one time I was getting into it. I just sat there and kept watching it of a older lion that was, the alpha in the pack for years,
Right.
pride, I guess I basically called him lions, I guess I call him pride. He was the alpha for years, you know, had all the female, blah, blah, blah. And as he got older and the youngest guys started attacking him and stuff, I
Yep.
mean, this one they had injured him so much, he couldn't walk. I mean, all he could do was just try to turn his head and roar at him and try to keep him off of him. And it was like they came back like a couple days later, he was dead. They killed him, 'cause
Yep.
and they said that's just how you sort of breed out the pride. The younger lions comes in, and they get the old guys and get them, injured to the point that where they can't survive, and they take over, and it happens over and over again. But it just felt so to me, like I say, that's why I don't watch it. I was just so sad to see this guy that was, he was a king of the jungle at one time,
Mhm.
and reduced to that point to where all he could do was just sort of turn his head toward there was a couple of them after him, toward the other two to try to keep him off of him, but he couldn't even get up to try to fight and defend
Yeah.
himself.
And then they go in and kill all his offspring.
Mhm.
Boy, it's a cruel world, man. I sit there
Yeah.
and look. I I I watched I watched him. them damn leopards dive down and attack the damn alligators. I'm like, boy, this is, it ain't nobody safe.
No, no. Yeah, it's amazing how they'll go after, animals like that. You think, well, they're so hardened with all the armor they got on crocodiles and all, but they also have soft spots, and
Yep.
if they can take them down, they'll eat all the meat around them, the hard part, kind
Hey,
of thing.
and what I saw, from watching uh with them hillbillies that used to catch them gators down in Louisiana for their livelihood. They like to shoot them right between the eyes, the top of the head, and the brain. That's where these cheetahs and lions grabbing them. When they
Hmm.
get them, they be grabbing them right there in that soft spot in the head. So I mean, I guess that's what they know. That's
Yeah, yeah,
that
it is.
survival instinct.
It is. Yeah. What did you think about this year's NBA All Star Game format?
Nah, I ain't look at that yet. Nah,
You didn't look at it?
hell no, man.
Oh
I'm sick.
man.
I'm sick of all of it. I ain't look at the Pro Bowl. I ain't look at this. I ain't look at none of the lead up to it, the dunk contest. I'm just at the point to where I don't even know what they can do. I mean, they all talking about how successful this one was, and playing the old heads against the young heads, and I'm sick of all of this, man. Mickey, I'm telling you, man. I was sitting up there looking the other day, man, and I just happened to flip through and see Charles and Shaq, and I'm like, I wish these old washed up would go somewhere and just get out the way. I'm sick of all of them. They always want to think that their era was the best era
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that can nobody touch them and all that. I'm like, you wasn't all of that. Give me a break. And uh uh they're so wrapped up in their own, they can't give these young guys no credit. They were whining back in the day when those older guys said something about them, but now they just totally criticize these guys. And then the one that they should criticize, which is Billy Ray, they're all hollering up here just because he done played 20-some years. So what? He ain't won nothing in God knows how long. And he got to get with somebody. Now I understand he trying to get with Cleveland now.
Yeah.
Cleveland look like they got something that might be working out. Now they got to go with him. I'm sick of him. I'm sick of all of them, man. I hardly ever. Well, I watch Golden State when Steph is playing. Steph ain't been playing. I ain't been watching.
Oh man, that's hard to hear, brother. 'Cause I know how much you was into it at one
I
time.
was, man. I was. I just can't stomach it, man. Oof. I'm sitting there, you know, they analyzing Cade Cunningham the other day. Nice little young player playing his butt off. But everybody got something to say. I'm like, man, give me a break. I don't even want to hear y'all, you know.
Yeah. And I hadn't watched the All-Star game in a couple of years myself, but excuse me, Tamara was talking about they was changing the format. So I said, I'll take a look at it and stuff. And
Mhm.
I was looking at it and I sort of understood the concept. They had USA stars, USA stripes, and they had the world, and it was going to be a round robin
Mhm.
tournament. But I think what happened was exactly the worst case scenario that, not say worst case, but one of the worst case scenarios that could have happened is I think the stars were the old guy, the old heads, and the
Mhm.
stripes were the up and young guys. So they went through there. So the stars, the old guys beat the world, and then they came back, and the stripes beat the world. So it ended up playoff between them, and so they came down, and the old heads ended up beating the stripes team. So it was the old heads and the world team is, I think. No, it was stars and stripes. I think the world team got eliminated too. Anyway, I s but I think the worst thing is, by this time, the old heads had played 3 games in succession. I mean, not in succession, there's a break between the games and all.
Mhm.
And man, Kawhi Leonard went off of that next 11. He had like 30 something points. Everybody, he's gonna be the MVP. Look at this, look at the old dude. Look at the old dude. Man, they got in that last game. And it was like they was running up down the course and boy, I don't know. They got blew out. And I said, that's the problem you run into. You're
Mhm.
asking these older players to play this many minutes on the court, in games that don't have a much break between them. I said, this is a problem you're gonna run into. And that's exactly what happened.
Mhm.
They just ran out of gas. You know, they just couldn't hang up with them young kids in that last game.
Hey, young man's game.
It's a young man game. Tell
Mhm.
me, it's a young man's fast game. You know,
Yes,
it ain't like
indeed.
in the old days where you could bring the ball down court, throw it inside 2 or 3 times, and take, 20 minutes off the clock,
Yeah.
and
It
catch
it
your
it
breath.
it's
You can't
like
do that no
yeah,
more.
catch your breath. It's like you playing football because you had time to huddle up when y'all down there trying to get the ball on the inside, but now
Mhm.
you gotta transition.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
you on offense and then somebody take the ball, you gotta transition on defense,
No,
you know?
no, it showed, it showed. They just they just can't hang when it comes to that, but they were looking good at first. I mean, the first couple of games, you're like, "Look at Durant go, look at
Mhm.
Kawhi go, look at LeBron," they was showing out, and then all of a sudden, like, "Oh boy," you know?
Okay, think about it. All LeBron does is run up and down the court because white people like to be in awe because his body is chiseled. Oh, he runs up and down the court, but all he's doing is passing the ball, you know. And then these boys are blocking his shot on a regular. You know, he's gone. Now, I'm a Kevin Durant fan. That's my boy. His ass is old. All he can do is go stand in that corner and hope somebody passing the ball. Now he'll shoot your ass down there, but he can't like he used to dribble and hunch over, and cross over and stuff like that. Now his ass is old and stiff. He stand up tall. He got to push the guy off so they don't steal the ball from him. I was like, poor Kevin. Now, if you let him rear up and shoot, he gonna bust your ass. But if you just keep some pressure on him, where he can't get no space, he done. I was sitting there looking at that's just like the young boy from Detroit, during that center. Now that's
Mhm,
a
mhm.
bad dude. Shaq always talk. I said that young man right there, dust your ass, boy. 'Cause he's a big old boy, and but I get so sick of Shaq and all them on there, talking. Shaq's yeah, big ass, can't breathe. They need to get the ball. Need to get the ball on the inside. Man, ain't nobody playing no inside ball no more. Hell, even Wimbyana ain't playing no inside
No,
ball.
he's taking 3-pointers.
Yeah, yeah. They need to get the ball down. Yeah, they get the ball down there to your ass. You can't even shoot free throws. So what's the difference?
Yeah, that's
You
the way,
know?
and I just thought about that, the world, they did lose that game because they're down. I think they're down 1 with just a couple of seconds to go. They get the ball down inside. They throw it back outside
Yeah.
the top of the key for a 7 guy to take a three-point shot.
Yep.
That where that would never even been thought of
Nope.
back in the day. But
Nope.
they threw the ball back outside for a 7 foot whatever it is guy to to shoot a three-pointer. I'm
Mhm.
like, "Boy, yeah, that wouldn't, Wilt or, or, Kareem or, those guys would have looked at him like, 'Are you crazy?' But
Yep.
yeah, they threw the ball back outside for him to take a 3. And of course, they were trying to showcase him anyway. I mean, it wasn't like,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that may have been some of it too, but still, you're trying to win the game, and you'll get a little bit more money if you win the
Mhm.
game. But yeah, the game has changed.
But then again, that is his game 'cause I watched a few games up here. I love it when they come up here and whoop Oklahoma City's ass. They just come up here and I think the Spurs are like 3 or 4-0 against them. And, but which is not unusual because when you look at it, San Antonio got a good team.
A good
Them young
young
boys,
team.
yeah, that's Stephon Castle and then there's a couple of them now. I can't even think of their name. Them boys play some ball. And then, of course, you got old boy, the left-handed dude that they got from Sacramento. He's a good player. And I think he was an all-star this year. Yeah. Can't think of no names no more like shit.
I'm same way.
But they they got a good team. And I can see them dethroning Oklahoma City. They both got good young teams. I'll give these
Right.
boys credit up here. They got a good team too. But they talking about Houston might be the sport of Houston. It's gonna be like that All-Star game. Houston's ass gonna come up short because they tired. but Because these young boys run for days. I mean,
Yeah,
days.
they can get out there and run the court and stuff. I tell you, it's a whole different world. Even back to the days of when we talked about run and gun, it's still
Mhm.
it ain't even to that level.
Exactly.
They them young guys get out there and run. I mean, they'll bring the ball down sometimes and run some plays and things, but if they get an opportunity to get out on break, they gone.
They are
They're gone.
gone, bro.
You know, and
Yes,
like you
sir.
say, you got 7 footers going down right down there with them. It ain't no like Shaq hanging back. Say, I'll catch you. I'll catch you when you come back down. I got your defense. No, they
Yeah.
all running.
Yes, indeed. I mean, and get back on defense.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, man, see now they're always talking about who can play in different eras. Now, Kobe Bryant would be loving this right now. He might be a little too old now, but
Right.
not but a few years ago, he'd be right in there with this mix because that's why he was tired of Shaq's big fat lazy ass, never in shape. He wanted to get out and go.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah. He
that's
would. He said, "I didn't think about that." You just said he would have fit right in.
yeah,
He would have, especially that and the competitive nature. He
yeah,
said to show the young boys something. Yeah,
yeah.
he would have fit right in.
Yes, indeed. He'd have been right there with him.
Yep.
And Jordan too, just out of his he's just so he's just so competitive. His ass would have a heart attack out there still trying to
Just
hang.
trying to do it. Yeah, he would have just to show him, because
Yeah.
yeah, and that's what people said. That, Jordan would bet on anything just to show you what he could do. So
Yep.
yeah, him and Kobe out there in these days and time. Yeah, it would've been a whole different thing, and I know the era's gotta change. I mean, we
Yeah.
all get to that point where we just can't do it anymore, but, it was just interesting, the new format. I thought when they got that last game, I'm like, I hope the old guys can hold up, but they just couldn't hold up no more. They just couldn't hold up no more.
Hey
They ran
man.
out of gas, but they was putting on a pretty good show until then, but they sorta ran out of gas, so
But
it's
it
almost like
reminds
the
I'm sorry,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
It reminds me of the days when we used to go to this center and play ball. Once we stacked our teams, we play all day. With these young boys now, you go out there, you stack your team. After that third game, maybe you you gonna lose because y'all asses is tired.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, and that's what I was thinking about with the every year I watch the home run derby. It's always the young guy in the derby every year that comes out and hits 99 home runs the first round, and then they
Mhm.
get to the second round. It's like, what happened? All he's hitting is line drives. I said, you can't waste all that energy
I'm
the
telling
first
you.
round. You might have it, that adrenaline might be going, but you got to save somebody. It happens every year. They get some big young stud up there. They takes off in the first round. You got to save yourself. You got to save yourself.
Mhm. Man,
Yeah,
there's something to be said for youth, man.
yeah.
There's something to be said. I mean,
Whether it's good or bad,
yeah,
some of the
exactly.
youthful decisions that we make is a whole different thing. But yeah, I tell you, it's something to be said for. Like I said, going out and eating, having 4 meals a day and not worried about putting on a pound and running up and
Yeah,
down the court playing ball, all every day,
yeah.
playing a game practically every day, running out to the clubs on the weekends, staying out to 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I mean, yeah, I just think back and said, "Boy, if I could
Mhm.
only go back to that time," you
You ain't lying. I think about
Yeah,
it. I
but
think, especially when I see some of this on this computer, boy, look at that, bro. Dang. That's when you show you, hey, they didn't make them like that when I was.
yeah, and I tell you, I don't think they did. I said I don't think they did. But the thing that's so much different about these days that day too is they don't mind you showing it, them
Exactly.
showing you all they made of either.
Yeah, buddy.
They don't mind. They ain't no kind of shame at all. They don't mind showing
Well,
their
hell,
assets.
hell, they got the mentality of dudes in our day. You
Mhm.
know, the women with them little damsels. These women nowadays, boy, hey, bring it on.
Bring it on. And I tell you, they start to get, and I won't say older because that sounds like they're old. They're getting to be older and older women who
Yeah.
show up on my reels,
Yep.
flaunting their stuff, I mean, they don't do it as much as a young girl because their stuff has shifted around over the years, if you will. But there's still some on there that I'm like, damn, she's 60 something years old.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, there's still some, and they starting to say, hey, let us show you a little bit.
Hey, I'm telling you, I'm like, they getting that body together and wearing them little flimsy dresses. I'm like, damn.
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
they doing it. They doing it.
I'm telling you. Had some fun though.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
Mhm.
we did. Yeah, we had our fun, but now they're just distant memories. Well, we hope you enjoyed this edition. Join us next time for Old Fools Talking Old School. Until then, this is Mickey G. Peace.